Hi there! We have now reached the year 203 BC in our Second Punic War campaign we are doing, or playthrough, and yeah, this is a bit of a gap down. I mean, we are starting to see the end of, you could say, the eclipse of the Carthaginian power during the Second Punic War. We're closing into the end. So here's the battle called Great Plains, and this is actually in Africa. So the year before, 204, Scipio has taken his, now veteran army from his, Spanish battles that we have seen, and brought them to Africa. There are also some new guys in the Roman army during this time. Most notably, you could say, is this guy, right? Massinissa. Yeah, he's the same Numidian general or leader who fought for the Carthaginians earlier against the Romans, but he has now switched side. I think though he didn't get that many men with him, switching the side. I think it was a few hundred men. But still, in this battle, it features 3 of these light cavalry, so there are quite many Numidians in this battle. He also brought, Scipio brought a lot of, mostly infantry. He was not that cavalry heavy actually, with this invading army here. There was a bigger cavalry fight previous to this battle, but not many Roman cavalry. There are quite a few Italian allied cavalry here, and actually a fun fact is that Scipio, before he went over to Africa, he tried to draft also some Italiots or Greeks from Sicily to join him to fill his cavalry ranks, but he also said to them that, okay, if you guys leave your arms and armor to us, you don't have to go with us, just hand those over and we will make use of them. And many Greeks actually did that. So most of these medium heavy cavalry or the cavalry on the Roman side, of some heavier cavalry, they're actually Italians equipped with Greek Italians with Italiot equipment, I think you could say. So Massinissa is over here. Scipio has landed, and he has quite early started a siege of Utica. And at this point, the Carthaginians didn't really have a good land army here. As I mentioned, they did draft some cavalry to meet up the first wave of Romans coming in, but there was no really, infantry-heavy army here. So Hasdrubal and Hasdrubal Gisco, this is, and Hanno, they did start. They had to hastily start to draft troops here, and they did. In the end, they got an army for about. You could imagine it's like 20,000 men, something like that here. And 4,000 of these 20,000 are newly drafted Celt-Iberians. Once again, we see these Celt-Iberians on the Carthaginian army. So 4,000, and it said that Hasdrubal did field those guys in the center. I'm not really sure that this setup reflects that. I'm thinking of those guys being the auxilia here on the basically on the Carthaginian left flank, but I don't know. What I read was that he put the Celtibers in the center and the Africans on the flanks. Maybe that's what it is. There's a mix of troops here, and auxilia, medium infantry, heavy infantry, but I'm sure these are African veterans, phalanx style troops. And we also have quite a few slingers here, so probably we are having some skirmishes from Spain as well from here. Anyway, as the Carthaginians were, drafting and setting up this new army, Scipio knew about that, so he had to temporarily leave the siege of Utica and started to march southwards through, or you could say along the Bagradas River. You know, the river Bagradas, we have seen it many times, or at least few times during our battles back. So yeah, we have seen many battles along that river already. So here's another one. And this is, as I said, a bit down south actually in Carthage. So it's not close to Carthage, not that close to Utica itself, but a good way south. So he marched there to meet the new army and crush it, because he wanted to get rid of any Carthaginian land army threat, and then march up to Utica again, which he actually did afterwards. The thing is, when they have assembled this army, I mean the Carthaginians, they had 20, maybe 30,000 men, somewhere there in between there. Scipio probably didn't have that many. I read some figures, well, maximum 20,000, but probably a bit less actually. But he was keen to attack, and he had veterans. He knew that many of these guys were newly drafted. They were starting to get nervous, you know. The war luck has not been on the Carthaginian side lately, so he knew maybe those guys were kind of shaken already from the beginning. So he dared to do this attack with his battle-hardened veterans. So eventually, at the Great Plains, I think it's the Romans call this Campa Magna or something like that. The armies drew up and got ready for the battle. And as I said, Hasdrubal put his Celtiberians in the center. And for once, you could say the Romans were on top of the Carthaginians when counting cavalry here. So Massinissa with his Numidians started immediately to harass the cavalry flank. It says Hanno here, but I think there were Numidians also fighting on the Carthaginian side, but we don't see any light cavalry. I think it was a guy called Syphax, was it his name? It doesn't say here, I think. But there was a new leader for the Carthaginian Numidians here. Anyway, pretty hastily, the cavalry managed to scare off the Carthaginian counterparts. They started to rout. I think I read that the Numidians on the Carthaginian side put up quite a stiff resistance before they retreated from the battlefield. But the thing is, in the whole picture, the flanks were won by the Romans. At the same time, the infantry started to get close to each other, started to clash. And it's said that the Celtiberians, they fought good. The Africans started to rout pretty early, in relative terms at least, and started to be pushed back. Celtiberians fought. They didn't really have any, they were new recruits, they were new guys here. They didn't have anywhere to go really, so they had to fight for it. And they did, so they put up a stubborn fight against the Romans here, so there was hard fighting in the center. But as the Carthaginian flanks did falter, then I think I read that the Celtiberians were fighting the Hastati here. So the Hastati did engage with the Celtiberians. When the Carthaginian flanks were broken, Scipio sent his Principes and also actually the Triari around the flanks, attacked the flanks of the Carthaginians, and that became too much for the center, the Celtiberians there, so they also started to rout off, and disaster followed. They started to rout. Many were, cut down, and you know what the Numidians can do when your enemy starting to rout and run away. They are excellent pursuers, so they were riding them down from the back, and well, I think it was quite a slaughter. I don't have the numbers for the casualties here, but you can imagine the Carthaginians lost thousands and thousands of men actually. So yeah, the Carthaginian started to stream at probably every direction, some streaming up towards Carthago itself, the city, and northwards, and some others to other places. I think the Numidians went westwards. I think there is actually a battle then, not featured in these booklets, but between Massinissa and I think his name was Syphax or something like that. That guy, the Numidian guy, who were, you know, allied to Carthage here. So Scipio marched up again, continued his siege of Utica. The leadership in Carthago started to waver. Okay, they you know, they had no other choice than to start peace talks with Scipio, and it's said that Scipio actually gave them quite a favorable terms of peace, which I think the Carthaginians were, well, they were at least discussing it. But as they did that, suddenly they turned it down. And what happened after that was, well, probably they were, you know, getting in contact with Hannibal, because Scipio's reasons for attacking Africa, of course, he wanted to bring the war to Carthaginian homeland instead of, you know, being in Italy or even Spain. He wanted to bring the war over there, right? But there was another reason also. He wanted to, you know, relieve Italy of Hannibal. So by going here with a fairly large army, he thought he might force Hannibal to abandon his Italian campaign and sail down here, and there will be a big face down with these two guys eventually, because that's exactly what happened. Carthago they had to bring him back. So later on, which we will see in another battle, the Battle of Tama, probably know about that. Then these guys will meet Scipio and Hannibal, and that's an, well, if something is epic, that is. So yeah, so actually Scipio managed to meet his goals with his campaign already with that, but he yeah, so he just stayed and wait and continue with the Utica siege, and eventually Hannibal will come down and they will face each other. So that's basically it, or that's what I know about this battle, at least what I read up before this playthrough. And so let's check the war council then. We have Hasdrubal Gisco as the commander of the Carthaginian army with 4 command cards. We're Romans with Scipio and 6 command cards, so we're gonna have a 2 card gap here, which will be boosted by cards in slot A and D for the Romans. And the Romans will move first. It's only 6 banners. Well, only, I say, because, well, I just sense that it could be a bit fast when the guys meet. There are about 4 hexes in between, so fairly soon I think we're gonna see some action here, and 6 banners could be gained pretty hastily. No special rules, so and no terrain, so it's just a battle on a plain down there in southern parts of Carthage along the Bagalas River. Okay, that's it. So let's check the armies then, and start with the Roman army. So we have the Numidians here, led by Massinissa, 3 light cavalry. Up on the front on the Roman line we have 4 units of velites. Then we have, for some reason, we have kind of different groups. We have a smaller group with Scipio himself, 3 medium heavy infantry and a heavy, and then we have Laelius with a larger, at least, you know, linked group with 3 medium heavies, a heavy here as well, and then 2 units of medium heavy cavalry. Mostly Italians with Italian allies, with some of them equipped with Greek armor, as it was said. So all in all, pretty standard, but at the same time not. This is exceptional. 3 light cavalry units. We will also see those in Zama later on. Actually, I can mention that also, that I will play. Well, if you just go with a scenario booklet, Zama would be the battle after this, but I will actually play another one in between, which we will look at next time. Anyway, continuing with this battle, Great Plains, we have the leader called Hanno here with a heavy cavalry. That could be something to... I mean, these guys are tough. Heavy cavalry. But of course, if these guys can move up and get some good skirmish attacks, they can neutralize that guy pretty hastily, actually. What else? Then we have 2 medium heavies. A heavy together with Hasdrubal Gisco himself, and another medium, and then we have 3 units of auxilia in a row there, and then a light infantry. And I guess these are a mix of African and Celtiberians. I'm not sure, maybe there are some other people here as well, but I'm not sure about that actually. One thing to note is that there's not a single warrior unit in the Carthaginian army, so even we have Celtiberians, which are kind of a warrior style units, right? We don't have them, and I think that reflects that the morale of the Carthaginians is starting to break, you know, so they are not really that eager anymore to battle and fight. That's what I think, why Richard Borg didn't want to have any warriors here. I can imagine that. Then we have 3 units of slingers up on the front. And if you look at the numerics, well, you have more units on the Roman side for sure. But I mean, there is still a good chance for the Carthaginians to, well, they have a fair chance at least to win this battle, as I see. They have some really heavy, I mean, 3 units of medium heavies and a heavy infantry. That's a tough line there, the Carthaginian center and right. If they can get those guys in with a good assault, maybe together with that heavy cavalry, I mean, as I said, this goes to 6 banners, so they could very well be a threat here to the Romans. So we're kind of already talking about tactics here. Of course, I want to get those guys in. That side is more skirmish heavy, if you could say so. So I probably want to be a bit more cautious with that side, because we also have the stronger part of the Roman army over here. Cavalry-wise, we are not we are not in par with the Romans as a Carthaginian player. So there's no reason to do any cavalry attacks here really. Those guys just evade and all that. So I think as a Carthaginian player, would want to concentrate the heavy fist on the right hand side together with the cavalry and hit Scipio's troops maybe really hard here. Try to gain the banners through that and then skirmishing it out. I mean, we are quite happy with the Carthaginians as long as this battle goes on in a skirmish phase. So we will start with that for sure. As for the Romans, well, as I usually want to do when I have split up the different forces here, I want to link them up so we can do some line commands and we can do leadership cards and we can do double times and whatnot. So that's the first task. And second one, going for the attack. And I think I want to drift a bit to the Roman right and try to hit the lighter part of the Carthaginian lines here. We will for sure will be engaged by the heavier part when we close in, but well, the Roman player, if we put it like this, the Roman player wants to get in there and fight, and the Carthaginian player would like first to have a longer skirmish phase, I believe. When it's time to battle, they want to use their right hand flank. So that's the plans. So by that we're ready to start, and as I said, the Romans go first. So we're gonna bring up the cards in Roman slot A and B. Okay, that's quite a few good cards there. We have a Spartacus card. I am Spartacus. We have 3 left and 4 right. So depending on what we will roll, there might be some flank movements from turn 1. Let's see. That's an A, B, or C. So we're gonna bring up one more card before we decide, and that's for unit center. Well, we have options for sure. Maybe, you know, I wanted to do these link up action. So, I'm gonna actually play 3 on the right. So we're gonna go a bit easy first, just to link up, as I said. So Scipio march forward with his legionaries. So do these guys, and the Triarii will link or follow. So now we're starting to have a line. The right hand side with Laelius needs to, well, get up a bit before we can continue the march with a line command or something like that. So replace the slot A card and then go to our Carthaginians. And for the Carthaginians, would like to see, you know, light units, or why not the dark in the sky? That would be nice. Let's check the slot A and B first. We have medium troops. And then we have an outflanked. Okay, I see. But let's see what we're gonna play. That's also an A, B, or C. So we're gonna check slot C. So we have heavy troops there. So medium, heavy, or outflanked. Yeah. What should we do then? Let's try an outflanked. And I'm gonna order my cavalry. I'm gonna put in some fire, and I'm gonna do some more skirmishing. These guys pretty much just want to go one step forward. Now they are in charge range now of the Roman line already. These guys will run up 2 hexes and throw the javelins against those velites. Okay, so let's start with missile fire here. So we have the light infantry. Let's start with those. The velites is the target, and 1 dies since they moved, and that's a miss. Then we have the slingers. Let's take the same target, those velites. Nothing, 2 blues. Then we have 1 more to do, and this time we're gonna attack. No, let's see if we can push back these guys. 2 dice, they didn't move. But bad rolls there from the Carthaginians. Is this an omen? Maybe. So no hits, no retreat flags, nothing. So here replace the card in slot B. And go back to the Romans. That's a D or E. So we're gonna now see the full hand of the Romans. We have 3 right, we have 3 center, and we have another 3 center. Okay. Okay. 3 right or 3 center. Could of course put our cavalry in position and do a velite attack there against those lights that are daring to come here. Would like to put our cavalry outside of range of those guys though. With a 3 center we could bring up 2 velites. Maybe also move up the Triarii actually, but we will break the line. I don't like that. No, I'm gonna play 3 right actually. 3 right. Because I want to move the cavalry into position, and these guys will just throw back their javelins. So let's see. These guys will move 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we do the Velitei attack. 2 dice. Didn't move. 1 hit. But they're standing there still, and that's a bad thing for the Romans, because if they will hit with some, you know, flags here now, we might need to retreat. I mean, 2 flags would be devastating. Okay, Romans gets back a card, and then it's the Carthaginians. Let's bring that guy up as well as moved and done. Okay, Carthaginians will have a C or lowest order count. So we have basically heavy or medium heavies. That's not the card I wanted at this point of time, but of course I could bring up the heavies and charge crazily with the cavalry. I mean, we could chase these guys down pretty good. With the medium heavies, well, we couldn't do really much. I think I go with the heavies actually. So I play the C, and I'm gonna charge in now with the cavalry. Actually, the heavy infantry will also march forward. They will still keep the line intact. So it's Hasdrubal himself who goes with the best unit probably in the Carthaginian army right now. Some African phalanx remnants here. What else could those guys be? I don't know. And these guys, they will actually charge. I will do a cavalry charge now with, was that Bostar? Yeah, I think it was Bostar. No, it's Hanno. It's Hanno who leads the cavalry. Okay. Pretty amazing. We're gonna roll 4 dice, and I dare to do that because those guys are not supported, so we might even ride them down in this turn. Let's see. Not a super good roll. I mean, we would also hit with leader symbols since we have Hanno with us, but only 1 hit. That sucks. That sucks. Because now those guys will hit back with 3. Luckily for the Carthaginian, they are not adjacent to a leader. But they hit with 1. 1 hit. And we have a flag, which I probably will take, but we're first gonna check Hanno's fate. Ooh, that was close, but he survived. But I still will take that flag, because I don't want to be attacked and, you know, get some javelins upon me. Okay, not a super charge by those cavalries. I mean, those are quite important actually, so let's see what I'm actually gonna do there. Okay, back to the Romans. That's a what is it called? Tactics card or lowest order count. The only tactics card we have in our hand is I am Spartacus, which I don't want to play now. So then it's a lowest order count, and as I can see here, the lowest order count is 3. So we can choose 3 in the center or 3 on the right. And let's see what the cavalry can do on the right hand side. We're going to play 3 on the right. We're going to charge in with those cavalry as well. And these guys will continue with the bombardment. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. We might even go 1, 2, 3 actually. No, then those guys can evade. We don't want that. We go there anyway. Let's start here. We're gonna throw some javelins, 2 dice. That's no hits at all. Bad first roll. Okay, then these cavalry will attack with 3 dice. They cannot evade, they cannot retreat. 2 hits, not good enough. I was hoping for a flag actually. So they will now battle back. No hits. So these are done. Then I'm gonna attack with the second one on that target. 3 dice, we need 1 hit. We did get it thanks to the flag there. So these guys are not supported, they die. And the Romans get their first banner. So I can now gain ground, go once more. I will go there, and then I'm gonna attack these guys. Or should I go there? I am in the line of fire for those guys now. I wouldn't be here. But I can be surrounded if I stay there. Oh, I go here. We're gonna attack. 3 dice. They can though ignore 1 flag. Which they did, and no hits actually. So now the slingers will retaliate. And they hit and got the flag. Wow. They were hit by so many stones when they rode in there. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, 1 banner at least for the Romans, but I think had like to see some more hits on that flank. That was a Roman slot A, and then it's the Carthaginians. It's an A or B, so that will be medium troops or Clash of Shields, which we will not play as we have no adjacent Romans to us, so it must be the medium troops. And that's bad over here because we don't have anything to retaliate against those cavalry troops. So basically we will order these 2 and we want to march them just forward 1 step. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And that guy will just stay there. Well, not much happening there. So we go over to the Romans again. They might have another chance with the cavalry then. That's a C, D or E. C, it's 4 center. The rest are 3 center. So now we need to activate the center for sure. So let's break up the line then and do some skirmish attacks and also move up the triarii. Here we go, and then to Velites. And let's see who we're gonna throw our javelins against. Let's see if we can get any from Hamilcar's heavies there. We're gonna do this. And the triarii will move up here. And then we're gonna throw the javelins. Let's start here. 1 die against Hamilcar. Miss. Second one, same target. Miss. Okay. And the Carthaginians. It's an A or B. So we have the Clash of Shields again, and then we have 2 on the left. And this suits those guys pretty good, because now they can... yeah, I'm gonna take those 2 I have there. And I will actually go up and fight here. These guys stay and throw their stones once more. So here we're gonna attack. The cavalry will evade, I believe. Yes, they will. So we're gonna roll 3 dice and hit with blue. No hits. Then we're gonna evade 2 hexes. They cannot gain ground. And then we have these guys. We're gonna throw their use their slings against that Velite unit that's not supported. And it's 2 dice. But we missed completely. Nothing there. Okay, and that was Carthaginian slot A. And I actually need to keep this one a bit short for the first section, so I need to stop here. but we are seeing some exciting moves. Actually, both sides have been forcing their way forward actually a bit. I was thinking just holding back the Carthaginians, but as I got that, medium heavy infantry car, I felt I need to move forward to be prepared for the plan to attack heavier here when the big clash begins, right? So, and still we are not in range with the Romans yet, so we dare to step there. We still have the chance to get the first hit in, and well, otherwise we have seen some cavalry action, as it should be. We have seen some skirmish action. You remember that heavy cavalry of Hanno there attacking a line of legionaries here. Pretty much an exchange. And what we saw these guys swarming around that light infantry unit of the Carthaginians, getting those eventually, but it took some time. And then at the same time, probably if you're going to do a narrative of it, these guys were bombarding the horses with stones, so these guys took a hit and retreated eventually. So basically that's what happened this time. We have a gap in the Roman line now, so I saw we got a line command, so we cannot use the whole army if we use that, but probably gonna link up first and then we're gonna use it. Well, that's it. So thanks for watching, and well, we're also going to mention, of course, the Romans are in a lead 1-0. So by that, thanks for watching, and please be back for part 2 of the Battle of the Great Plains 20 CBC, of course. Bye for now.